All right, so let's talk about strategy analysis. Strategy analysis is chapter 6 of BABOK, and one of the things we need to talk about first is strategy. So, strategy really defines the most effective way of applying capabilities to an enterprise in order to reach a desired set of goals. Now, the strategy analysis knowledge area is basically the work that we do to collaborate with stakeholders in order to basically identify the need, which is considered tactical or strategic, um, and then enable the enterprise to address those needs. And this includes focusing on defining the future and transition states needed to address the business need. Um, the strategy analysis provides the context into requirements analysis and design definition, right? So this is giving us the inputs in order to be able to create requirements and designs. It also allows stakeholders to make the determination of whether or not that need is addressed. Now, the image below basically gives a spectrum of value according to the states of business analysis. So when we're in the analysis knowledge area, value is potential, right? We don't know what it is. We're basically assuming or making educated guesses on what the value could be if we implemented a solution. So we're identifying needs and the solution scope at this point. And the further we get into requirements analysis and design definition and solution evaluation with things like proof of concepts and prototypes, pilots and beta testing, and then full operational deployments, that's where we start seeing some actual value. This is where we start seeing the actual change, and we're able to monitor it and measure those changes. Two things to note about strategy is that when the future is predictable, um, the future state really is all about defining a clear strategy that can be planned out. But if we have something unprecedented and is difficult to predict, the focus may need to be on mitigating risk and testing different assumptions or hypotheses um, until the change strategy is actually, able to reach a specific business goal. Now, the strategy analysis has four tasks, including analyze current state, define future state, assess risks, define change strategy. Now, analyze current state, this is where we're trying to understand the business need. That's one of the most key roles of the business analyst is to identify and articulate the business need, and also how it relates to the way the enterprise functions today. The define future state task is defining the goals and objectives that will demonstrate that the business needs or the needs have been satisfied. And it also defines what parts of the organization needs to change in order to meet those goals and objectives. Assess risks is where we're understanding the uncertainties. So BABOK considers risk anything that's unknown or uncertain about a situation. And so we're trying to understand the uncertainties around the change and consider the effects of those uncertainties. Also, we're trying to recommend actions to address any risks that are identified. The defined change strategy, this is our actual plan to transition into the next or the future state. So, defined change strategy is where we're performing a gap analysis between the current and the future state, and then assessing options for achieving the future state. So we're assessing them, and then we're going to make a recommendation of the approach that has the highest value. Now, the core concept model is discussed in relation to how it applies to each of the six knowledge areas. So again, my recommendation is to get a good understanding of each of the knowledge areas and the tasks within them, and then come back and go over the core concept model to see how each of these concepts relate to that specific knowledge area. And overall, for this knowledge area, your inputs are going to include needs, internal and external influences, the stakeholder engagement approach, unconfirmed elicitation results, as well as confirmed elicitation results, prioritized designs, and prioritized requirements. So again, our tasks include analyze current state, define future state, assess risks, define change strategy, and our outputs for this entire knowledge area is going to include the current state description, the business requirements, the business objectives, future state description, potential value, the risk analysis results, the change strategy, and the solution scope.